So I think if we can decide what forms of tax minimization strategies are illegal or unethical, if we make the distinction a lot clearer, everyone will feel that the big companies are paying their fair share of tax. If governments can say what you're doing here is not right, it's beyond unethical, it's illegal.
So, Tanya, we've made some difficult decisions. Your government's policy was no school will lose $1 and everybody got guaranteed certain rates of increase.
So the King's School goes up in Sydney, Geelong Grammar goes up,
so
Churchie in Brisbane goes up.
We have said, Tanya, that we should stick to the formula that the Gonski panel recommended, that actually is based on a needs-based calculation of Indigenous student numbers, low socio-educational advantage. I haven't.
I don't know. I'm from a rural and remote area. I go to a school which has to put really strict conditions on each faculty based on how much paper that they can print out of a printer because we don't have enough funding to print resources on paper. And it's not acceptable, from my point of view, it's not acceptable for you to sit there and to say something like, well, if Labor were in government, we'd be in this situation. Because at the end of the day, the Australian public elected you as the government, and you are in a responsible position now to fix these problems. But instead, all you're doing is saying, well, if we had Labor in, this would be the case, and you weren't elected to play the blame game.
No, Geordie, I was
Recognition for Indigenous people in the Constitution is something that we seriously need to head towards. It's something that we need to do. It's 100% right. But when I have a look at the state of Australia and the fact that Indigenous kids are 26 times more likely to be locked up than non-Indigenous kids, I see a major issue. And when I look at the Uluru Summit, I see some of those things that were mentioned are great, and we should head towards a better and brighter Australia in regards to Indigenous recognition in the future. But I think we already have so many conciliatory bodies, so many committees, that I worry that this body would become tokenistic and that it would perhaps be used by governments as, oh, look, they've already got this body, why do we have to put funding into this? I think first and foremost, we need to get so many of the social and economic problems, as Arthur mentioned, fixed.
I acknowledge that the postal survey may have had negative consequences, but my personal opinion that it is that the postal survey was necessary to ascertain public support for same-sex marriage, because same-sex marriage is a question of values. It's a question of values.
This is a majority voting on an issue that affects a minority. This doesn't concern over 80% of the population. This is... The LGBTQ community should have their relationship and their love recognised by the state in the same way that heterosexual couples are. That is an absolute...